important part of our session, question and answers.
Actually, funnily enough, we have spoken to the traffic police, and they have been new commissioner is very technology savvy. So he said, why don't you open it up? Because see, ideally the app making should not be the government's part. They have to have private companies doing it. They have to have the data and they have to open it up. So the traffic police have actually told us, you come with us, tell us what to do. We'll open it up. So we have got like parking issues and all that. So we can directly send it to them.
But a lot of this data would be in a non-digital format also. So people make complaints.
No, from an app it will all be digital.
If the complaints come to us, but the BMC is getting complaints.
Correct.
Can I respond to that?
Yeah, sure.
But I was just going to add that point. I think what Avkash also said, there is a backend to all the complaint management, and each and every department needs to have their own backend. They have their own processes. How they close it, how it goes from one department to next level to next level. From a citizen perspective, we need to look at that there's a citizen front end, which is different from the back end of the government. The front end needs to be different because the way I evaluate it, it needs to be multi-authority. I don't need to be having a different icon for different problems. For example, within BMC or within police, everywhere. Whether it's Delhi Police or Bombay Police, there are 20 applications, one for every department, right? So it needs to be aggregated. It needs to be, geography agnostic. So it shouldn't matter to me whether right now I'm in, Dadar or I'm in Thane or I'm in Navi Mumbai or Delhi. It should not matter to me from citizen perspective. Because if you have to have this Nirbhaya app or Himmat app, you can't keep downloading it. So the front ends are going to be different and the back end is going to be what government owns. Front ends largely, I think Chetam mentioned, what is happening globally is that governments are opening up the front end to private innovators, developers, whatever they want to do, and they are providing some kind of communication between the front end and their system in a very controlled manner. And that is where he will innovate in a certain way, I'll innovate in a certain way. And in London, in New York, the transport has majorly gained by opening up the data. So I think what is happening, what he's talking about the handle into using SMS, and there's a way to do it. So what we are doing is we are actually logging directly into the BMC system without actually going through paperwork. But different front ends, so there will be app front ends and there will be CSC front ends. There will be hard people who do not have phone, who do not have smartphone. There will be front ends like that. They will become just channel. Mobile app is one channel, web is one channel. There's a physical center called CSC, which is another channel. People can go and complain there. They don't need to go to BMC office, they don't need to go to best office. They go to one center, irrespective of the problem, and they report. So something like that, segregation will address the issue that you talked about.
If you would kindly introduce yourself.
Rajesh Chetam, ITA volunteer. In your app, after lodging complaint, if there is no volunteer, then what will happen with that complaint? Because right now
it will still go to the municipality. We are also working on directly submitting the complaint through our app to municipality. Okay. What happens is sometimes they change the way their site works, but it will go through them. And
right now you require volunteer help.
No, you don't. The complaint still goes to them. But what happens is if somebody is following that up, see, finally with municipality, if you have somebody following up, it's always be better than just whether you put it on their portal or something. So if you have this, and surprisingly, actually there are a lot of NGOs who want to work. We have, for example, area code 57. They have one NGO called Parley 57. So they are willing to take up. In fact, they said, you give us a, we take up all the complaints.
My question, even if there is no volunteer,
it will go.
The complaint will reach.
It will go. The problem with municipality, they want paper. Or even their own portal, sometimes they will ignore. But if you give it in paper, it's a different thing. That's just how it works.
I think in both cases, it's automatically
correct.
No, I guess you also mentioned about the role of ALMs, I remember.
Yes. So, like we are working with a lot of ALMs, and we are actually like, he has been, I should say, he has been so helpful, and he gave us so much time. We were so surprised when we went and visited municipality. He took us to meet everybody, he suggested names. So, see, people have this myth, unless you interact with people, there are so many people who actually are very proactive and trying to do something. So we need it both ways, citizens also, see, most people just complain, they don't do anything. So you have to also take responsibility to do something.
So, my name is Prakash Joshi. I am from Nanachok area, D Ward. I have two problems. Number one, I am not tech savvy or particularly mobile. But are those available, whatever you explained, they are really wonderful. Are they available on the desktop?
Yes, actually, funnily enough, it's very funny. We are actually developing an interface. We found this also because what we have seen, lot of people, even in ALMs and all, they are okay with taking pictures and all, but they don't understand how to use mobile apps. So we are building an interface for the desktop also. In fact, it will be what we showed, that will have a way to register a complaint also.
That is one. Number two, sorry?
No, in fact, he also mentioned about the emailing part as well. I think.
Yes, you can email us the thing and
Okay.
we have a way to put it in the system.
The second issue is that a person like me would like to volunteer, but we don't know where.
Exactly.
Now,
So we have
one of the funniest issues, there is a campaign from fire department that anybody wants to volunteer, and I went there and they said, sorry, we don't know what to do about you.
no, somebody like you would be useful to us. You know, we will.
I think in my app, I don't have a desktop version, and there are no plans to have a desktop version because there are more people largely accessing through mobile. A lot of people don't have desktop, they access through mobile, so that's my logic. Volunteering, I mentioned, we are creating a marketplace where people who need volunteers in your vicinity, in your area, will let you know that they need volunteers, and if you want to volunteer, you can choose to volunteer at that point in time, or you can create a database. You can say, I want to volunteer. Whenever someone needs volunteers, we can do the matching for you.
I guess we are missing very important point. What you're mentioning is,
Oh, sorry.
yeah, I think what you're mentioning is because we have, the way ma'am was mentioning about she's been so frequently going to BMC. I guess the younger lot, I'm very sorry to say this, does not really want to go about
Correct.
correcting the system as such.
Yes.
So these applications are more, in fact,
Correct.
more
Geared towards them. You're
towards
right.
them. But the way he mentioned, are you thinking of opening this forums in various wards and conducting at least one orientation program
Yes.
where you
Yes.
can
In fact,
engage people
Yes.
and open help desk
Yes.
that once in a month, possibly you give 2 hours, you tell us the complaint the way sir was mentioning.
Yeah, because what is happening, the younger generation don't have time, and the retired.
No, they do have time. It's not true. They do have time. They just don't know to get involved.
Their priorities are different.
Right.
Yeah. What is
See,
it?
there are a lot of young people here, so these people will do it. So there are people who will do it also, and it's not a question of time.
So
It's
are
a
you
question
thinking of that line, like
Yes,
having
yes. In fact, one of the things, now we are so caught in time, but one of the things we were thinking of teaching older people and having seminars where we call older people and teach them how to use certain mobile apps, because that also is essential.
So our study is a little, we are going ward by ward, but we are going via NGOs and the ALMs and the RWS, whatever size, shape the bodies exist, approaching them to champion. Also, as I mentioned, it's not about just grievance redressal. For us, grievance redressal is just one small item, but there are so many other discussions we want. We want you to take up issues, for example, something close to your heart, you want to report. It's nothing to do with BMC. It might just be a societal issue, it might be just a community issue. We want you to start having debates and discussions on that. So from that perspective, I think the older people, the NGOs, the activists, they have a huge role to moderate. So one way, the way I have also started looking at the app now is, this is not initially when I started, I thought citizens will complain and will get resolved. Then I realized there is an NGOs already doing the job, and this can complement effort. Now every single ALM, every single NGO cannot have this kind of technology of their own, and then the whole purpose of aggregation gets defeated. So effectively we are actually saying this is now for the NGOs. This truly is for the NGOs. How they promote it within the citizens that they engage with is up to them.
So what is the NGO? Another is on an individual basis. One may not have NGO as such, but then on individual basis one can
Absolutely. So individual activists or NGOs, or as I said, whatever size, shape, legal definition they are in, as long as someone is interested in championing it, they can take it forward.
Hello. Regarding the health issue, I am Dr. Vivek.
Yeah.
Like some epidemic like malaria or any diseases, we like to report to the BMC. But there is no BMC don't have any portal like this. We had made one page on Facebook to report the malaria cases. We received the report from the malaria. But when we try to send to malaria, they don't have any portal like this.
Actually, our app can do that for you. It already has that. You can do that directly from that.
No, but let me just add, every ward has a MOH, medical officer, and they do have a report of dengue, malaria, and annually, in fact, these reports do come out. And let me tell you, like, compared to 2014-15, when we were checking 15-16, for that matter, the number of malarial cases and dengue has reduced considerably. But what you're mentioning, the portal as such, where you report, but the minute the cases of dengue are detected, the doctors are advised to report it to the local municipal board as such. And malarial also, it is generally, it gets reported for the
See, it is very difficult for the doctors to report there to send the return application, something like. So you want to make it very easy, so that by SMS, by any portal they can do it. But they don't have any portal like that.
Most of the doctors are given the contact details.
But hardly 20-30% people send it.
What we suggesting, in fact, we were talking about it, Chetan, if you remember, that by this portal, and Umesh, I'm sure you agree, we can also come to know in each ward how many cases are detected. So possibly next year, pre-monsoon, we can have some more precautions in that.
I think hardly 40% cases get reported.
Exactly. So this kind of
Because
application will help.
it's not so easy.
Yeah, you're right. Yes,
Because of this doctor, I have to add one more question now. For last 50 years, I am BMC hospital and clinic patient, and I am keeping good health. And I have to tell you that even the BMC dispensaries are not having whatever they wanted to have, just to have it. Okay. Now, second question is that traffic management, by putting the board on the related to traffic on the roads and maintenance of the signals, it is given to, but we have to put the boards, no parking, etc. It is with traffic police, and there is absolutely no coordination here. BMC has put that no parking, and there both side parkings are there. And when I make a complaint, neither BMC, when I make complaint on 1916, and nor police on 103 or 100 take an action. And that forget about the normal course of action is not there. And now, the earlier BMC commissioner was quite efficient. Lok Shahidin complaint he was taking very efficiently and correctly from lower level to higher level. But the present municipal commissioner has made it a point that not to consider any of the Lok Shahidin complaint, and therefore that if that written complaints are not taken care of, the 1916 telephonic complaints are not taken care of, then what about the app complaints?
I think what we'll do if the escalation happens here as well, I guess that's for both of you.
Okay,
Independent.
I forgot. I have a comment.
You have independent candidate.
So sir, there is one thing that happens in terms of when we are talking about, when you do one-on-one complaint, I log a complaint on 1916 or I log a complaint by writing a letter, then it is between me and the authority. The moment you log a complaint using the app, what happens is this complaint becomes public. First thing, it becomes public. 50 other people, or actually 5,000 people or in a community, let's say, get to know. They start supporting it, right? It starts getting weight. So in a way, what also happens is, let's say, if I log a trivial complaint, and I might have logged a trivial complaint versus a more important complaint, everyone is seeing it, and the pressure, media pressure, the pressure of the support, so amplification happens, starts building up. Not to say that everything will get resolved, but we believe that using app, using social, amplification, they should create more pressure, because it's in public domain. It should create more pressure on the authorities to resolve such issues.
Traffic signal not working. At 8 roads was meeting at one place at Amarmal Junction. There is no pedestrian signal, and Tilak Nagar, that 2 kilometer long road leading to the Kurla terminus, no parking on both the sides. Both the sides are permanent parking. Do you think that this is trivial problem?
No, it is not. It is not. That's what I'm saying. Now, what will happen in such cases is, now today, citizens like me who go and we drive our cars to the office and come back in the night at 10 o'clock, we don't bother. Tomorrow, what will happen is, tomorrow say, this is Mr. Shanbag has put this idea, I support it, I support it. All of us will start supporting the idea, right? So in a way, small petition like change.org will happen for that item. Now that creates a lot of pressure on the authorities to act. At the same time, if someone has given a trivial suggestion, that will not attract so many, people supporting it. So for both, from our perspective, we are able to be more forceful. The same thing as getting 5,000 people and taking out a protest on street to do the same job. Here you are just doing a protest using like.
But let's not add what he's saying. You think those who would support him online by giving a thumbs up, you have a provision where if at all he says tomorrow I am going to so and so ward office or I am going to so and so traffic department tomorrow at so and so time, would you like to join? So you have provision where he may have more people supporting him, possibly to bring in that.
Two things we'll do. First thing is we'll allow him to take a printout of the thing with the number of people who have signed. One. Second thing is he'll be able to give out an invite saying, I am going, can you join with me? So if I
am not using that.
No, Mr. Shambhala. We're just looking at the application.
Technique.
What you're mentioning, we'll have like over a cup of tea and we'll find out who's another over there. So we can call him directly. No issues on that. Kurla, no?
I'm not correct.
I have a question for Chetan, which is that you said you have 2.5 lakh downloads already, and you started with areas which are hugely popular. People want to get photos in there. Since you've come back from the US and 15 years, as activists, we find that our biggest challenge is to get people to do anything. Okay? And ultimately, we all know Facebook likes and any likes doesn't change anything. So, you've been doing this long enough. What is your thought process? How do you get people off their backsides and get involved in activism?
This is a very difficult question, and you are absolutely right, because people will complain a lot, but it's very difficult to get them to actually do things. I understand that. And what we are trying to do is, see, one of the reasons we have commute in the thing also is because commute is everybody's problem. So they do, get involved. Okay. Now we have been surprised. Now this SmartShehar, the new version, is out just for a month. So we will start going more further. But we have already started getting people asking us questions. So I feel that you will still have hardly 1% of the people getting involved. But I think that should be enough because they may be drivers to that. See, it is a difficult process, we all understand. We all activists understand. It's very difficult to get people involved. It's very difficult for us to get that time out of their schedule. So, but we have realized that if you hit a big enough mass, you're more likely to get people. So the idea is with the app and these things, you're hitting a much bigger mass than you would do by shooting out email or Facebook. And Facebook likes are completely useless. They are no use. They don't correlate to people who are going to take any action. Absolutely. But we are trying different ways. Like what we are doing is we are trying to integrate with WhatsApp. We have found that there are pockets of people doing work. One of the problems I've seen is we don't have any correlation or communication between different things. So what we are trying to do is enable this communication. So if you're like, for example, he said we already have that. For an issue, you'll be able to create a chat. So for a particular issue, you have people gathering and so you are now trying to reach a big mass of people and also connect people. We are trying to connect people because a lot of people are doing the same thing. They don't know somebody else next to them is doing the same thing. So we are trying to connect all these people so you create a bigger mass. And we feel feel disappointed, but then you see things like AAP in Delhi. Whatever the party is doing now or not, people, if they have given the right incentive, will come out and change things or vote. Now whether the experiment is successful or failed is a different thing. But if given enough mass and if you reach people in a certain way, they will come out, and that I feel happens.
You mentioned about also creating data bank last time. People who can, they want to share their cell numbers. And
Yes,
email
yes,
IDs
yes,
as well.
yeah, we are allowing, that's what I'm saying, we are allowing them to connect, we are allowing anonymous and we are allowing them to connect, you know.
You have a question?
See, I want to know why this can't help us. We see some work going on. Maybe it's road repairs or whatever it is. Now, in order to help us make the complaint, rather than go and find out what is going on, why don't at the site we have a board there to say, such and such work is going on. This is expected to be, it will start at such and such time, it will get completed by this date. This is what the cost of it is going to be. We should want to know what the cost is also. And whom do we complain to? Like for instance, very often we're passing through a road and we don't know somebody has dug the road across to lay a pipeline. Now, is that the municipal work that is being done, or is some builder laying a line there? We don't know. So whom do we complain to? We've got to find out what's happening. Now, if we spend 3 days, 4 days to find out what is happening, valuable time is lost. So we should be made aware of what is happening,
Question
and
is
that
to
will help.
them to you, me.
I think,
I mean, all three are concerned.
I just want to add, this is there in Nashik. Nashik allows you to go with geotag and you can see what civic work is going on, when will it be completed, any chance that it will
No,
ever.
CTM has
in
come
fact,
up.
what I mentioned earlier was, whether you are having an Aadhaar camp in the vicinity, whether you are having road repairs in the vicinity, all this information can now be broadcasted very clearly. So upfront you will come to know that before you go on the road, that this is the work that will be done, these are the tentative dates. Now there are two questions. Where will this information come from? Right? So A, as we progress, as this becomes a trend, the authorities themselves should do it. B, there might be an activist who has actually gone and found out that information. They can post this information. I don't need BMC to do it. So for example, when I give an example of, whether a park to be made or a toilet, public toilet to be made, I can, as a citizen can do it, individual activist can do it, NGO can do it. That is but this information dissemination or that now there's no point in me telling entire Bombay that there is a road being dug up next to Moneylife, right? The people of that area need to know that the road is being dug up. So these apps will allow some of this transparency to come in. Vice versa, someone might actually put in a question there saying, this road has been dug up, does anyone in the vicinity know, in the neighborhood know why it has been dug up, when will it be fixed? So people in the vicinity possibly who have some answers, or the authorities, given that authorities will also be on the platform, anyone who has answer can possibly answer that question. So these notices, information, news, etc., everything will come through this channel.
Just to give you an official answer to that, this year's BMC budget has a provision of online trenching. So all the permissions for this kind of a trenching is going to be online. So the data will be put up in the public domain. So if you really want to know about this entire process, like how long it is being permitted to, so you can always of course go and check online as such. And of course apart from that, what you mentioned is very appropriate. There should be, I was talking about the same thing. It is mandatory to put up a board.
Yes.
But many times it is mandatory.
Board is there, but nothing is written.
Many times. While the board is there, it is such a place where you need a third eye to locate it.
I cannot
complaint.
Can I talk on the
I
same
cannot
subject?
remember where I have ever seen a board put up.
Can I?
There's no board at all.
Can
What is going on?
Can I speak?
Yeah, I think you should.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am Sudhir Badami. I was by accident put into the what most of us called pothole committee in 2006. That is the one road monitoring committee where I had suggested that we should have RMMS, internet based, that is road maintenance and management system. In the whole process we noticed that this rule is there, that board has to be put up, and I observed many places they are there. Telephone number of the officers concerned is given there, contractors' names are there. Many times it's missing for some reason or the other, and that's the time to actually complain that that is missing. And then the person in charge in municipal corporation has to actually attend to that. That RMMS, municipal corporation took it up, in my opinion, sometime in 2010 or 11 or 12, I don't know when. they were not really very serious about it, or they were looking at various problems that are again internet based. Now that we have apps because of the smartphones, I think my mind goes a little wider now. There are a lot of things can be done, and I think like Suchita mentioned about Nashik. Nashik has done something. I need to go into a little more details than what I think I understood so far, but I think it matches with all the things that are going on. I just want to add here, since you are from Municipal Corporation, am I right? Okay, because I came
We shared a visit locating Daisa River 3 years back.
Okay. Oh yeah, okay.
Harish Pandey.
Okay. So what I want to just mention here is a new thing has come up with the development plan which is coming. Two things which come to my mind, and I think in 10 years time Mumbai can change its face as far as public area is concerned. It takes up 200 kilometers of roads every year for repair out of 2,000 roads which are there. So, kilometers. So, 200 kilometers every year. As per the new DP, each of these roads, which is more than 6 meters wide, is supposed to have at least 2.5 meters of footpaths. That is one part. And for different widths, you have certain number of footpath widths to be identified. So, these drawings have to be prepared. I think why I am saying this is that most of us are activists here. We must create an environment where we are able to follow up the construction procedure so that they do provide these widths of footpaths at new roads which are being taken up. Also, they are supposed to be accessible to persons with disability. A lot of details have been provided. So the drawings are very important. I got some ideas. That's why I think one of the reasons why, though I was a little late, I said I must attend this because some of the points I can pick up from here, is that we must see that in 10 years time all these DP rules are implemented by not only the developers and builders but also by municipal corporation in their wards. The system should be such that we pinpoint individuals within the corporation system who function well, who don't function well. Officers and corporators. So whole system that we electronically monitor should be there to get people to do their work and not haphazardly some corporator says take up this road or take up that particular thing. No, that is should not be, randomness should be minimized. That's all it is.
Question to Arya.
Yeah.
Umesh, you say your app is mainly local based. So how do I, when I log into your app, so do I need to choose a particular ward I want to tag in? And can I choose more than one ward? Because say my resident ward could be different from my office ward.
So in fact,
or it's a general, because
so in fact, we have right now given only 2 wards, which is home and over. But we have created architecture, so you can choose, if you want, you can choose 227 wards, right? Plus another 5 from maybe your native, if you want. Right? So we've given that architecture, you can choose as many as you like. System, you can just drop the pin and say, this is where I live. Automatically it will decide. So what Chetan had mentioned in terms of you to select the ward, here we are actually letting it decide itself which is your ward. Most of us don't know the ward. I learned about my ward only when I started doing this app. I check out with a lot of people other than managing committee members. Most of us don't know the wards. Most of us have forgotten where I live is a new building, so we never voted for a corporator, we don't know who's our corporator. Okay? So I'm just giving an example. Lack of awareness is so high that we leave it to the user. Why? Description of the ward also does not tell me which ward.
I have one question for you.
You mentioned about Nashik, please complete that.
No, Nashik has, I think thanks to the Kumbh Mela and the fact that they were a little progressive in their thinking, they've been able to map things and put, in fact, we had a presentation in February by the municipal commissioner. Done quite a phenomenal job. So it's worth emulating. But the question that I had for you is that every time we have discussions here at Moneylife, most of us activists keep saying 2017 is going to be this municipal election and that everybody is going to be working at it. So people who want to stand for the election, people who want to get re-elected, and if I were one of those, I would be looking at both these apps very seriously to look at how I can exploit the data, because today I have it, on a mobile phone, and yet I do not see that interest happening at all. You're on the inside, you meet with them. What do you think will it require to get corporators, first of all? It's only 227 watts, so I'm saying we're not looking at more than 500, the winner and the runner-up, wanting to look at how to use this effectively. Do you see that? Any hope in that happening?
I would rather want them to have one more addition, and that should be a commitment from the people who use your app. I will vote. All those who are going to use the applications, I'm not trying to be cynical here, but I do know, because at one point of a time I worked as a PRO, election duty, and I remember I was posted somewhere at Bhaikla area, and my first voter, I was supposed to be making my entire booth, election booth prepared, because teachers are given all the jobs. Teaching has become secondary now. So 2010. So my first voter was a mechanic. 7 o'clock, not sharp, 7 he came, he voted. Until 5 o'clock I was very unhappy, and I did not really find people who really live in those high rises and who have this habit of jointly blaming the system. They do not really come out when it is time to vote. Not that their vote is getting missed out, but then when you have 100% problems, you should also have 100% voting as well. But I was... sorry?
Make it mandatory.
Mandatory is something which there's a no smoking board, people enjoy smoking there. The minute you say mandatory, they would rather not do it. I would say stop all the roads which lead to Mathura and Mahabaleshwar for that one day. But to come on a very serious note, in fact, Chetan and I was discussing, and I also offered to Divesh and Chetan as well, when they came up, that I would personally give them 10 corporators who would be interested in this. And you sent me a flyer today, 3 days back. I sent it across, and I already have 2 corporators who are willing to know more about it. And one of them happens to... It's not why aren't they here, does not disqualify them from knowing about it as such. So they were quite...
Out of 227.
I feel when they started, there is 2 of them, Dipesh, Moile and Chetan, correct? When Umesh started, he's only one of them. This is my second term, you got me again here, you looked up for second time. So I guess I said I give them 10 corporators, and I'm sure the number definitely will double. Now it is up to them how far they are effective in their methods of convincing them, that how it will be useful to them as well. What I don't know, one of them mentioned that the ward wise data does not come out. How effectively the ward is developed. You rate the corporator, but then what happened in the ward? Let me tell you, Shiv Sena has this kind of a thing, which is again mandatory. Each corporator presents an annual ahwal, a report, which is to be submitted to the Paksha Pramukh. I don't know about other corporators from other parties, but Shiv Sena corporators, every year, they come out with a booklet, the activities which they have done for the year. And it is something which you can possibly cross-check as an activist. But here, if you also promise them that through this application, we will be able to identify what you have done prior to you got elected, and now what you have done, and maybe since you have a good coverage of the people, we will take a poll also for you. That how people find you. You cannot be sitting on the table of bargain for your only gain. You have to also offer something to them. And I guess this will be a very good win-win situation. And not all the corporators are, not very unfriendly towards the technology. There are many who are using it. So I guess since you have developed this, give some scope to them for them also. Because there is dilution in the role of corporators now, with the way bureaucracy is taking up the charge. So if your application is providing them now, I guess this is the right time.
No,
Honestly, both of you have something.
They should have
talk to your corporator, and we can.
Who's your
talk to them.
corporator?
Actually, we have spoken to an MLA, he's very interested, and he's very interested. And actually, the corporators are interested if you can give them the back-end information also. That's very valuable. And we have done the result also. It's there.
Very good.
Yeah, it shows how many cases.
Elections, I think there is a little more interest, and especially it's also a little give and take kind of a thing. The only thing that holds us back, for example, to go to something is the political affiliation. You do not want to be seen being aligned. So you try to find a method whereby you go to all parties together, which doesn't happen. So when you start with, let's say, certain let's say reference, when you're going to a certain party to begin with, which sort of puts you on a cautious note to begin with.
No, Umesh, I got the inquiry from other party corporates.
It is just an NCT corporate. So,
this is
Is it
Yogesh.
online voting possible? Everything is done online between transaction.
One day it will happen. One day it will happen. One day it will happen.
This is Yogesh from Moneylife. The citizen in me likes these apps and everything, technology. It's fabulous. It makes my life convenient. But the journalist in me wants to know how it is going to be funded, because that is how it will keep going on. So how the funding part is being taken care of.
I actually very explicitly talked about commerce and things. So there are, when I started doing this around 10 months back, it was a very, very social, noble objective, and I used to be very shy of even talking about revenue generation. Okay, but today, after much more learned, 10 months more learned, I think we have found some 7-8 methods by which we can generate the revenue to keep this sustainable. Local ads is one very important thing. Every day in newspapers we get these flyers, inserts, etc. When I am actually rolling out, I am actually going to these newspaper wallahs and saying, can you put my app flyers in the local area? But once the app is there, I think the flyers should get completely replaced by advertisements on this app. One. Second thing is, there are methods by which the local polls and the surveys and the citizen satisfaction survey, the social audit, more advanced features can be put in terms of payment basis. Okay, so if there is a bank which wants to generate leads, they're opening a branch, they want customers to come in, or there is an event that is happening, they want to sell the tickets in the proximity, or even for that matter, if the NGO wants volunteers, if they go out and they'll spend some money raising volunteers, right? So some amount of money from each of these engagement that you allow. So largely 80% will be free engagements, 20% there will be some amount of charges in line with what benefits they got and what kind of organization is doing that. Then there are also a lot of these social campaigns. I talked about traffic police earning a lot of revenue by citizens reporting violations. So what do you want to do? Traffic police anyway runs programs, reward programs for citizens to report these things. So you keep a percentage of that, what is you are channeling through that. So if the citizen is getting a 500 rupees reward, you keep 50 rupees out of that and pass on the code. So we have worked on quite a few mechanisms whereby which some of these can be sort of commercialized. Having said that, it will be a little while the commercial aspects kick in once you have certain amount of scale. But that is a very important aspect to keep it sustainable. And second, as I said, to keep it sustainable, revenue is one thing. Also to make it not boring, to bring in elements which are also fun and entertainment, etc., and not just keep it to pure social. Because otherwise, Sujita asked the question, how do you make everyone an activist? I don't think you make everyone an activist, but in the passive ways, if so, call them couch activists, if you say so, but get them to participate in some way to start with, and incentivize them with rewards as well as recognitions, is what our strategy is to get most people involved.
Actually what we are working on, in fact, we have spoken to local people also, businesses, and the response is quite encouraging. So like he said, to get the scale, the kind of money we invest, it will take time, because any app and all, it takes a lot of people think you can just generate, but it's not like that. You have to build the server, you have to build a lot of code. So it's not as easy as people, and these kind of apps are very complex because they've got relationships with different things. You have to store a lot of data. So the whole thing is expensive to build, but you will slowly scale to the point where you have enough revenue to generate. There are a lot of, once you have the data and once you have people's behaviors, stored. So anonymously you can use that for, like I said, my previous life I was doing marketing databases. So we used to generate the whole population of the US from different files, and based on that then people used to send it. So we are well versed with using that large data benefit.
Are you assuring the people who log on to your application that their information will not be shared with anyone else?
No, it will not be shared, it is anonymous. Everything is
So that
anonymous.
people log on and they give their
No,
email
no, no.
ID or
No,
their
no.
contact
We have,
numbers.
we have more than now, 2 lakh email IDs. Till now, we have not shared any.
And what about the hacking and all those?
No, that is all
that is all
secure,
been
sir. Yes, secure, sir.
How is a similar app in the US?
Sorry?
What is the scene in the US about?
There is a, it's called C Click Push, which is which is a similar app. And in fact, I have spoken to the guy who does that also. They actually started at the same time, but they are working with a lot of agencies in the US.
Have they scaled it up?
Yeah, they've scaled it up. They work directly with government, so that's how they get money. So they work with government. It's more easier in the US. You know, you have an app, you go to the government agency. They won't say, no, we will build our own app, we won't give it to you. That kind of thing doesn't happen in the US. They work with different agencies and the government promotes their app for getting complaints with it. So they get funding from them. They get revenue from the government.
All apps get funding from the
No.
government?
This particular app, which is similar to what we do, gets funding from
But I'm sure there are more apps.
But this one is like the de facto standard. And even if you have other apps in certain areas, you have other apps. So they will get their funding.
Just to add to Jay, for the complaint, grievance redressal CK Fix there and Fix My Street in UK is there. In India also Janagre has I Change My City, which is also a complaint grievance redressal mechanism, etc. But these are largely what is a complaint redressal, etc. For the collaboration, there are few other apps, but I think Facebook and WhatsApp are the biggest ones.
Correct.
You know, everywhere. So in terms of what I was talking about, AasPaas, their grievance redressal is one of the 25-30 things that we are planning. That I have not really encountered a hyper-local with Facebook. There is one thing which is called Nextdoor in USA, which is focused on just community building. They build community. They're not focused on civic. They're not focused on governance. So that is the closest. In India also there is an app called Local Circles, which is not GIS enabled, it does not know your location, etc. But it brings people together.
The government.
There's one point, you talked about location, right? And you talk about 227 wards. Mumbai is a strange thing. We have the police zones are different from that. So what is, I don't know whether you have integrated this, if I am in a particular place, I should know which ward I am in and where the ward office is. At the same time, I should know which police station governs my area. So that is something which also should be easily accessible for persons.
And best divisions might be different and the electricity
They are
might be
different,
different.
yes.
So I don't know what Chetan, we sort of tried to.
Yeah, we have handled that problem. We work with all these people. Like there are certain things that Google provides, and we take all this data and we bring it all together to figure out what like you said, there's a PIN code also. So that's also an important factor. So we bring that all together. It's a process of integrating.
No, just give an example. The place where I live comes under Megwadi police station of Andheri East. While just across our border goes into the RA police station,
Correct.
which is on the far end of it.
Correct.
So they, not even
So,
that,
some of-
BMC, the corporator ward might be divided between two different BMC wards. In the corporator electoral ward, if you look at this Santa Cruz
The
West,
wards, yes.
right? So all I'm saying is, within BMC there are different wards mechanism. In a way, you can say corporator is BMC or not BMC, but it is the two are together. There also there is a difference. So I think all of us have taken cognizance of these things, and there are workarounds around that.
No, that you take cognizance, but citizens to know,
They don't need to know. See, now
they need police station to know.
I'm saying they don't need to know. That is what I'm trying to tell you. When they report something, it automatically knows. I am sitting here. The app knows this is this police station, this is this ward, this is this. The app knows that. It becomes, citizen doesn't need to know. I'm going to the right police station.
With these two
We'll
apps,
take last question,
forming
yeah.
of ALM is not required.
No, sorry.
Forming of ALM is not required.
All these apps, he mentioned volunteers. I am saying it is
ALMs are very
basically a tool.
critical.
It is a tool for the ALMs.
This is a tool for the ALMs. Because on the road, on the street, you require people who come together. This is a tool which will allow ALMs to even communicate with each other.
easy.
So this
In an
is going
ideal
to
world,
help.
ALM will not be required, but as of today, ALM is a very critical tool to, fix the problem.
Yeah, I guess we need to really wind up, and maybe we can have a discussion post conclusions.
Can you summarize what different apps what they are talking about?
Sorry, you can
SmartShehar.
AasPaas and SmartShehar.
No.
Maybe we can, sorry,
Different apps they are talking, I missed that, so that I can write.
that's what I suggested. Maybe after the conclusion of the seminar, we can have one discussion with them. So, Chetan and Umesh, thank you for being here, and thank you for inviting me over to model session, and thank you for attending and such wonderful participation.
Thank you very much all of you for being here.